Good morning, good afternoon, or good night, whatever time of day it is. I am KewlImp, Justin, and the whole sort of other names that are probably inappropriate to say on my channel. Welcome to another topic conversation today, and I actually have one that's kind of interesting. Um, in the Winnie the Pooh trailer, doing the neck thing, in the Winnie the Pooh trailer, we see the honey launcher shoot off, go from twin guns, honey launcher, as the finisher, or at least that's what it looks like is the finisher. And I think it's called the Star Seeker. We have like a Star Chaser or something like that. It's one of the first Keyblades that we see in the Tangled world beforehand. I think we're gonna see two more Keyblades have the exact same styling to them. And what I mean is they're going to split apart into two handguns, turn into a cannon, and shoot off a big AoE attack afterwards. My guess is that it's going to be a not a Kingdom Hearts Keyblade. Of course, it's a Kingdom Hearts Keyblade, but a Final Fantasy Keyblade, and probably I don't want to say like something like Fenris again, but maybe something like Oblivion. Oblivion might be something where it switches apart, and whenever you split it into two, you go into power mode instead of guard or magic, which we've seen so far. And let's say we're going to use Sleeping Lion as the other example. With Sleeping Lion, it would turn into a speed attack. So you'd have one in each of the four base forms that we kind of have guessed and we've picked apart watching these trailers over and over again. And I've been watching them over and over again. Yeah, I'm that nerd. And that's something that I was thinking about. It brings us to a question of, are we going to be getting Keyblades that are essentially fusion Keyblades? Fusion. Huh? Yeah, I'm a big old nerd. I'm a dork. Or are we going to get something more akin to, there are a type of Keyblade that is all-purpose. And that's going to be my phrasing on this, all-purpose. Because I would imagine the honeybee or the honey blaster would shoot out little bees or little clumps of honey, and it probably does a slow effect. Because you're in guard mode, a slow effect on your enemies would be a great advantage in combat. So, just throwing that out there, I think that's a really neat idea. Most of the other Keyblades have to please be original. The catch is if it is a situation where we are looking at a fusion situation. So let's say Star Chaser. I think it's Star Chaser. If Star Chaser has the dual pistol, and you use that as the primary material for a fusion, and I'm assuming you can fuse, unfuse as you go along, and you make your own Keyblades. Can it fuse with things like the Infinity Badge, the Toy Story Keyblade? Can it go with the Mirage Staff? If you combine the honey, the Winnie the Pooh Keyblade with Hyper Hammer, with the Infinity Badge, does it take on attributes of the Hyper Hammer, or the, god damn it, does it take on the effects of the Infinity Badge? So Infinity Badge plus Winnie the Pooh Keyblade equals Infinity Honey Badge, I guess. I'm working here, man. Give me that's just stuff I'm making up off the top of my head. I wish I could have written that stuff down last night, but I wasn't thinking about like naming conventions here. So the Honey Badge would have all of the similar effects as, it would basically be the Hyper Hammer and the Drill Claw, but in guard form. So maybe we have Keyblade combinations. And mind you, this is a lot of this I thought of like 5 minutes ago, so I don't have a solid grasp on the concepts. But it has been kicked around that there might be Keyblade fusions, looking at Mickey's Keyblade from the E3 trailers, where you see Aqua picking up his Keyblade, and it looks like Starseeker plus Kingdom Key D. With that said, that might be a thing in this game, and I think it's probably going to be happening. I think it is. Looking at the way it seems, mind you, this is all speculation. That the argument I got onto Twitter earlier, last night, I maintain that. Opinions are like assholes, everyone has one. And your opinion can be wrong when it's proven wrong. Live with it. But with that said, if we do have a fusion mechanic, how do we determine primary? How do we determine secondary? Or does one Keyblade determine the abilities, and the second Keyblade determines the form? So if we assume we have 4 forms: power, speed, guard, and magic, which seems to be the orange, green, red, and blue. Whenever you go into Hyper Hammer, if you have it fused with a power style Keyblade, in this, let's go back. Let's use Oblivion here, because Oblivion would probably be a power form Keyblade. You combine that with the Infinity Hammer, it's still the Infinity Badge, but now instead of going into what other form it would typically go into, it goes into power. But let's say you combine it with the Honey Launcher. What would happen is, and then it would go into a guard form. And this is actually something that might be kind of interesting, and it would change up the way that people play the game. Because if you're an X-Masher, and admittedly, watching some of the people's gameplay from the premiere event, because I was that guy last night. I was off of work. I sat down. Well, I was sitting home, whatever. But I was home early from work, and I was sitting down, and I was watching some old footage that the people who were invited to the premiere event back in May had taken. And you can get away with just mashing X and the occasional triangle. And I imagine when situation commands come up in the new version, it's not going to be as common. But with that said, we couldn't see any of the menus. When you died, it just pulled up a retry, guide, continue, quit. I think were the 4 options. Which puts me on an interesting thought. There might be something in there they didn't want us to see. Now, the other option here is I'm completely off base. There aren't... there's not going to be fusions, but there might be evolutions, which is a concept that I was kind of spitballing around in my head last night. Mind you, I work at a fast food restaurant, and Friday nights are typically busy. But after about 3 a.m., I get to think, because most of the people have gone home. I can do the floors, bathrooms, all that stuff that you have to do for work. But evolutions might be another thing. So let's take the same idea where you have 4 that have twin blasters, goes to heavy cannon. But as it evolves, as you put time and effort into it, maybe it changes. So instead of having twin blasters, it's more of a rifle weapon or something like that. I don't know. It's something that seems weird, that wouldn't apply to if you had a general Keyblade form. I mean, the Star Chaser, I think that's it, Star Chaser. Again, I don't remember off the top of my head. The Star Chaser might have been just a pre-render before they were going to use it as the Winnie the Pooh Keyblade. Very well possible, although I think the Keyblade design was liked and people liked the way that it worked. So that's probably going to make it into the final product, but just that might be a thing. Star Chaser might be the first form of the Winnie the Pooh Keyblade. Who knows? We don't know at this point, so a lot of conjecture, a lot of speculation, a lot of just flat out opinion is flowing around here. And that's something that's super important to think about. I'm going to put out a video a day for the next 73 days, I think it is. I'm putting out a video a day. I'm going to be saying a lot of stuff that probably makes no sense to anyone else except for me. And that's because I see these weird tangled things and messes and go, let me try to unravel that. Let me see if I can take a look into it. So when we're taking a look at the Keyblade situation, and we have two Keyblades that have the same basic functions, but in different forms, it makes me think of all the different ways you could do that within Kingdom Hearts. One way is by fusions. The other would be some type of evolution. Or the last option would be is several Keyblades have a generic Keyblade design where the form is essentially the Twin Blasters rocket launcher thing going on. And that's a very good possibility. It really is. While others have specific functions. Like the Hyper Hammer, things like that. But if we take a look at Nano Arms, Nano Arms duplicates several other features of other Keyblades. When we take a look at it, it uses Hyper Hammer's Hammer Slam attack and the Drill attack. So this might be something to do with the combat system too. And it might not just be the one Keyblade. There might be generalized tool sets where you can take Nano Arms, for example, and you can say, I don't want Hyper Hammer type of attacks and turn them off. But again, we don't know because no one that I know of, at least, and by the way, when I wake up, I take a look at Kingdom Hearts in the last hour and the last day. Because I'm looking for new content. I absorb this stuff. If you take a look at my time watched, it is in the hundreds of hours per month. And probably 80 hours a week. And most of it is Kingdom Hearts 3 stuff right now because I want to know as much as I can. But when we take a look at these, I'm not seeing a lot of speculation about the Keyblades evolution. Which, by the way, I want to point this out. Come on, guys. The Luca trailer, we knew synthesis was in this. They admitted it. Why was that a surprise to people? And I'm not calling out names, and nor am I taking attendance. But please recognize when the creators are saying, yes, there are traditional and new ways of doing synthesis and upgrading your abilities. That way Keyblades remain relevant. They said that it's going to be in there. But I want to say I appreciate all you guys. I noticed I have a few more subscribers here on YouTube. I am in the last 28 days, I think I've gained 9 subscribers, and for a channel that was stuck at 25 for years, thank you so much to the new subscribers. I'm going to have my Patreon down below, my Twitch link, my Twitter link. You might occasionally see me get into arguments with people, intentionally trying to gather more attention, because I don't want to be a small tuber. I want to be able to get a little bit bigger, and maybe some of my thoughts will have substance further along in the processing. I just really think that this might be a really fun topic to go into later on. And I'm hoping people see this, because there's a lot of really neat ideas that I will occasionally just spitball, and while I'm talking out loud, because talking in my head's completely different. Tangents is supreme up there. But when I'm talking out loud, I'm trying to keep a laser beam on the subject. Even then, it's hard. So it is something interesting. I do want to say, please reach out to reach out to me if you have questions about any of the content that I do. Leave a comment. In some of my older videos, I've gotten a few comments, especially the Kingdom Hearts 3 Union Cross theory. I did a follow-up to that video because I felt that I did not explain myself as well as I could have for the video before that on who is the player. Which to me is a very interesting question because they're trying to... It seems so simple that they're indicating that you're the player, but I don't think that's the case. So there's a lot of like really interesting theories out there. Strelencia is not the Master of Masters and is dead. We see her heart float away and her Charity die. Putting that out there. Come on, folks. Sorry. But with all that said, I do want to say I appreciate everyone who's following me on social media. Anyone who's following me on Twitch or here on YouTube. If I'm streaming, reach out to me. Even if I'm playing another game, I will talk Kingdom Hearts. I'm not even joking. I will spend 3 hours talking to you about my content on Kingdom Hearts 3, and if you have a theory what you wanted to have someone else take a second look into, I'll do that for you. But with that said, twitter.com/KewlImp, patreon.com/KewlImp, and twitch.tv/KewlImp. Those are my social media links. I do not have a Facebook, Instagram, or Snapchat, or any of that type of stuff. Maybe I'm a little bit just too old for it, and I don't want to get it. I will see you tomorrow if you see me, and if you like my videos, comment, like, subscribe. I'm going to be doing more of this, and after Kingdom Hearts 3 comes out, I'm hopefully going to continue to do this. That's part of the reason for the 75-day challenge. Good night, good morning, good afternoon, and may joy be to you all.